Welcome back. Before the break, we looked at the staffing problems plaguing law enforcement agencies across Nebraska. That crisis is also hitting smaller agencies. Those officers voicing that they are tired and worn out from working hours of overtime to make up for not having a full staff. The competition for talent between agencies of all sizes deemed cutthroat. State lawmakers have a plan to give people protecting those small towns thousands of dollars in bonuses. Running radar is part of the chief's job in small-town Nebraska.
Arrest, it could be once a month or 5 in a week.
Police Chief Drew Hilscher describes the booming Bennington in one word.
Growing, growing, and growing.
But that's the opposite of his police department.
Worn out, energy drinks get you by, but that's not healthy for you.
Uniforms ready to be worn, hanging in a closet for months. Like so many departments across Nebraska, his too is short-staffed.
Last Friday, I came into work at 7 a.m. and I didn't get off until after 2, so over 19 hours.
Blink and you'll miss it. The Bennington Police Department is a small building tucked off a side road. It actually used to be a wastewater treatment facility. The department is authorized for 5 full-time officers. They're short one and another is injured. So technically, they're down 40% of their staff.
You don't have a lot of people interested in law enforcement anymore. And the people that are in law enforcement, you know, they're going for dollar signs.
KETV Investigates pulled every law enforcement agency in Douglas, Sarpy, and Pottawatomie counties. And when it comes to starting pay, Chief Hilscher is right. The 2 smallest agencies who responded, Bennington and Waterloo, start at $50,000 and $54,000 a year, respectively. If Omaha's proposed budget goes through, it would start at more than $70,000 a year. Douglas County pays $65,000 a year.
They pay better. They have better benefits. You've got better health insurance. Big one's going to be a better pension system.
Jim McGuire and the Nebraska FOP knows smaller agencies need help.
We're just trying to come up with some type of solution to assist not Omaha or Lincoln, not just them, but all the agencies.
On July 1st, LB 1241 went into effect. It's a state-funded bonus structure designed to help agencies with fewer than 75 officers or deputies. If they've had at least 1 year of service, $1,500. In another 2 years, $2,500. And 2 years after that, $3,000. An officer or deputy who's stayed put could get $7,000 spread across 3 payments.
But we need to stabilize the workforce and get people interested in doing this, and we're hoping that with some of these money incentives that they will stick around, because it is a true crisis.
A competitive crisis to find the best, pay the best, and keep the best.
It's a lower pace, a little bit of a learning curve, but it's also the plus to that is you can take your time.
And Chief Hilscher is hoping for more buy-in in Bennington.
I think we need to be competitive with pay, especially because we're so close to Omaha. We're in the metro area, but also we have to pick the right candidate.
We are now joined by the president of Nebraska's Fraternal Order of Police. You've heard from him already, Jim McGuire. Thank you so much for joining us in studio today.
Thank you.
We've heard you say it. We are in a crisis. What do you mean?
Well, we're going to have to find some way somehow to get more people interested in joining law enforcement. Right now, we've got more people leaving and less people applying, and the numbers are just not going to work out unless we do something dramatically different to get people interested.
Is that only bigger agencies, only smaller agencies? Is that everybody?
It's everybody, but when you do the numbers, when you do the percentages, the smaller agencies are the ones that are most impacted. It sounds like a lot, and it is a lot when you say Omaha is down 90 people, and that's 10% of the department. But it's different when you say, hypothetically, you've got a department of 2, you have 1 person leave, that's 50% of that department. That's a big problem.
We've spent a lot of our time focusing on agencies around the metro. I want to go to rural Nebraska. Mm-hmm. What have you seen west of Lincoln?
Well, you've got a lot of people working a lot of hours. Even if we want to sit down with them and have meetings with them and try and get kind of the bottom of how things are working, it's hard to get them to sit down because nobody can get time off. and you're starting to feel some of the effects of the burnout of long hours and long shifts, and we're just trying to get people some help. And if that means through LB 1241, giving them some extra incentives to stick around, let's do it, because it's a big problem, and it is becoming a crisis level.
Let's talk about LB 1241. The cutoff line there was about 75 employees, right? You want to do something for the larger agencies, but let's really help those smaller agencies.
Right.
Went into effect July 1st. What's the feedback you've gotten in the first month and a half?
Well, so far it's been very positive. Money always kind of helps things out, but it's not the end all for everything. I mean, you still have a lot of people. We're still trying to get people just to apply, and that is always going to be the struggle, because yes, there is low unemployment rate in Nebraska, but even when you go and talk to kids nowadays, asking them, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up and everything else, we're just not seeing the people raise their hand saying, I want to be a cop, or I want to do X. We're going to start to struggle more and more unless we kind of change the narrative and get things on a better path.
Give us an idea of how that application process has changed. How many applications would there be 20 years ago versus 2023?
Well, I can tell you, me personally, I've been a cop for a long time, over 30 years. When I submitted my application, I was competing against over 2,000 people. Now, in 2023, you've got a department of 900 for the Omaha Police Department. We had less than 400 people even apply. And with that, it is hard to get hired in law enforcement. It is, because the process, it is, because there's a lot of responsibility, there's a ton of liability, and we're just not seeing the numbers. And we've got to figure out a way to get people in the door, because once we get them in the door, hopefully they realize what an impact they can make in their community. And I've said it once, I say it again, it's the greatest job in the world. You get a true opportunity to help people, and there's a lot of jobs that you feel like you're making an impact, but I'm telling you right now, go and answer a 911 call where somebody is desperate for help and you're there to help them out. It's a good feeling.
LB 1241 addresses retainment. You've said really the number one problem is recruitment.
Yep.
How do you flip the script?
So we do have to keep people here, figure out a way to keep them longer, because right now we've got people that are leaving after 7, 8, 9 years, which was unheard of back in the day. Once you got them in the door, they saw, okay, I've got to work X amount of years, and I'm gonna stick around. And now they're seeing, this is affecting my home life. I got to work all these afternoon shifts and everything else. Getting them to stick around is becoming a problem. We're hoping that some of this stuff will help. These retainment bonuses, if you want to call it that. Because when they walk out the door, you're seeing a lot of institutional knowledge walk right out the door. Then you have to start the process all over again, and getting somebody hired from the date of application to actually getting them through, if it's Omaha, Grand Island, State Patrol, wherever the training academies are, it can take up to a year. Wow. Because it's a long process. And again, it's not supposed to be easy, but because it's so important, but we've got to figure out a way to get them hired and make sure that these departments are picking the right person, not just any person.
Jim McGuire with the Nebraska FOP, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, we'll take you to Ashland, where the overwhelming staffing burden falls on the city's police chief, and the love for his community keeps him going. First, how important is a fully staffed police department or sheriff's office in your community? Do you think officers and deputies are fairly compensated right now? Your comments are an important part of this show. If you want to be heard, email your comments to news@ketv.com. Remember, we love hearing from you. We'll be right back.